It's time for a review of On the Prowl, the latest release from the sexiest, or at least hairiest, glam rock band alive, Steel Panther. Let's play a game. I'm sure you know what all of these emojis mean. Try and guess how many times their meanings are mentioned in the lyrics to this album. I've popped the answer at the end of the video, so stick around because I was surprised when I saw the number as well. With all that being said, my name is Wild from Wild Wild Southwest Child. Let's get straight into the review! The opening synth chords set the 80s stadium metal scene perfectly, with Never Too Late to get some Look, this review is going to be highly not suitable for work, so Mum, if you're watching, please don't. Just wait till Monday, I have a vlog coming out then, it's going to be really good, watch that instead. Thank you. Let's try again. The opening synth chord sets the 80s stadium metal scene perfectly, with Never Too Late to get some pussy tonight. The pounding rhythm drives into your ears before Michael Starr's megaphone of a voice edges in over an evil guitar riff. As openers go, it isn't as much of a banger as Death to All But Metal, which was obnoxiously aggressive in the best way, but it's still a decent way to start the show. This is more like it. For a second there, I was worried. Friends with Benefits is some proper devil horns raising, stank face making heavy metal. Guitarist Satchel takes the driving seat in this tune, and his shred-tastic solos are second to none. Never have I heard a song with 4 separate guitar solos that still sounds so coherent. Right, it sounds like we're already onto the ballad. Then again, Community Property is S tier, so let's see what happens. On Your Instagram starts with a plucked acoustic guitar line under a sweet violin synth, which is in stark contrast to the usual hyper-macho, hyper-metal sound we expect from a band who released a guitar pedal called... yeah, it does build to some nice chugging guitar, and the drummer Sticks Sardinia slams on those skins harder than a groupie's boyfriend on the band's dressing room door. I feel like this should have been more Here I Go Again than Listen to Your Heart, and therefore was a missed opportunity. We are back on form with Put My Money Where Your Mouth Is. There are parallels that can be drawn between early Darkness material and a lot of Steel Panther's work. Have you ever listened to the lyrics from Permission to Land? They're goddamn filthy. In terms of music, there is a lot that both acts regularly feature, such as killer guitar solos, drumming that knows exactly when to hit, and vocals that soar high over the driving rhythms. Put My Money ticks all of the boxes and then some. So you're aware, I'm not planning to go balls deep on lyrical analysis in this review, mainly because there isn't much to say about Steel Panther's lyrics that haven't already been said. Expecting thoughtful introspection from these guys is like expecting your arse to grow wings and fly away. Fun fact, apparently they're terribly nice people in real life. It might be another acoustic intro, but this is a lot more engaging than the last. 1987 is an ode to the heavy metal hard hitters of the late 80s, name dropping everyone from Dockham to Whitesnake. This is Steel Panther's Mama I'm Coming Home level ballad, much better than On Your Instagram. You can feel their passion for the music right here. There's not much more to say about this song. It does what it does, and it does it incredibly well. The song Teleporter takes flight with an Iron Maiden Avenged Sevenfold riff that has you banging your head and you don't care who knows it. The guitar and vocals are perfectly arranged in this track. They add layer upon layer of harmony that makes it feel so thick and full. The production of this whole album is spot on, actually. If you want to be deafened for 48 minutes, put this on. My only qualm here is the weird distorted synth that plays almost sporadically throughout the song. Unlike the harmonies, it doesn't add anything, it literally just sounds like someone scratched the CD. Steel Panther writes some incredible riffs. Hey, somebody had to say it. Is my enough? I'm assuming the censored word is dick is no exception. The song features guitar work from Dweezil Zappa, son of musical madman Frank Zappa. You can hear a clear difference in style between him and Satchel, which is both refreshing and also adds something truly unique and interesting to the tone of the song. We're given a Rush-esque synthy intro with the song Magical Vagina.
These sodding titles, man.
I say given rather than anything else because I'm just not a fan. I'm here for the guitar, I'm here for the Viking wails. One of the opening lines is, all that I can do is think about sex, but Mike was blaming on the titular vagina. The chorus? I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. The whole band just starts chanting, your vagina! Oh, Christ, please like the video if you're enjoying this, because this script is bloody torture. The guitar stands out to me in this song, but not for the reasons you'd probably think. It flirts with a tone that I would expect more from The Edge than Eddie Van Halen. It's a strange but very cool choice. Man, that chorus gets me every time. We get to taste a much more modern sound in All That and More. This seems more later noughties hard rock a la Five Finger Death Punch or Disturbed than 80s metal energy of Whitesnake or Motley Crue, but I'm here for it. The middle eight is pretty awesome as well. A few new percussion instruments pop in to say hello, giving a tasty variation in tension and intensity, something that I feel is missing from a lot of the other tracks. The outro is terrific though. It powers up to 11 and isn't so much driving rock as, I'm sorry officer, I swear I thought it was a 70s own metal. That was well timed. I'm hearing so much early Metallica in one pump chump, and I bloody love it. It's upbeat with incredible riffage and puts me very solidly in mind of Hit the Lights from Kill 'Em All. The guitar will not sit still. It runs up and down and around the fretboard like a frenetic ferret in a fever dream. And that's the verse riff. This is probably the best song on the album. It's so well put together. Steel Panther are really cracking out the old acoustic guitars for this album. This is in stark contrast to their debut album, which was 90% hard-hitting, fret-burning, super-powered bangers. Thankfully, Pornstar only taunts you with the acoustic before turning back to the good old distorted stadium riffage. But it all just feels a bit out of place. I'm not sure what they were aiming for here. What acoustic guitar? Man, Steel Panther must be getting old. And in fact, that's the very theme of Ain't Dead Yet. The song explores the ravages of age and the changes one faces as one gets wealthier in years. But because it's Steel Panther, it's mostly concerned with their struggles performing sexually. The solo is lovely, emotional and evocative, with a tone so heavily drenched in reverb and distortion, it sounds almost like an electric violin. A brilliant feature. We are treated to more Metallica marching riffage on the closing track, Sleeping on the Rollaway. There's something about a swung rhythm that I just love, and this tune makes me think of Papa Roach's Kick in the Teeth, another band who are absolute all-stars when it comes to riff writing. The song's a bit on the short side, to the point where there's not much I can say about it. It isn't so much flash in the pan as a quick sizzle. As a closing track, I think it should have been louder. I'm not sure how I feel about this album overall. Their official debut is one of my favourite albums of all time, but On the Prowl seems a bit lackluster when compared to their earlier work. If Feel the Steel was a night of aggressive, passionate and probably BDSM-tinged banging, their recent release feels a bit more like a cheeky wank. Also, I know I said I wasn't going to dissect the lyrics too much, but I have to point out that they sing about cancel culture in 1987. An otherwise incredible tune. I listened to Steel Panther for a fun, crazy, incredibly tongue-in-butt-cheek time, not social commentary. I will admit that I have probably compared them too much to themselves, but here, as musicians, they are clearly still very much on form. They are thunderous, formidable, virile virtuosos who can rock the socks off a centipede and still have energy to spare. I'll give this album 6 cat faces out of 10. As promised, here are the emoji results.